the Independence Day of Malaysia, 31st August 1957. Today we'll be visiting the National Museum of Malaysia. It's easy to drive here. There are lots of parking places outside the museum. Parking is at 3 ringgits per hour. Walk towards the main gate entrance and you can see many old vehicles and trains outside the entrance. This is a good place to take some photos. As we get to the main gate, we can see the main building of the National Museum. Another way to come here is by using the MRT metro line. Stop at the Muzium Negara station. Or you can also walk from KL Central. The front view of the museum is a good place to take photos. Now as you walk up the entrance steps, this is a great place for photos. We can then go to the counter to buy the entrance ticket. For Malaysians, it's 2 ringgits and 5 ringgits for foreigners. Enter the museum and check out the main hall. There are 2 floors. There are 4 galleries named A, B, C and D. Visit them in order. Gallery A is the early history of the land of Malaysia. As we get in this place, you can see old maps of the land and the surrounding areas and the history around them. The exhibits include skeletons and skulls of people who lived here, possibly thousands of years ago. And also exhibits of rocks and tools and weapons that they used. A great place to learn about the old history of the land. Here you can see remnants of pottery. There's also a display on how they lived in the land. Many old artifacts are on exhibits here, like pottery and jars. The corner section explains the different ages that humanity has gone through, like the Metal Age and some of the items from the period. As we walk through, there are different sections explaining early trade people had with others from far away land, from the Middle East, from India, from Europe and so on. There's also a section detailing Lembah Bujang or the Bujang Valley. This is a historical place in the state of Kedah. A good place, and we then proceed to the next gallery, which is Gallery B, which is about the old Malay kingdoms. As we walk in, there is a majestic door and gate. Here we can read about the old history of the sultans and kings in this land. We also see influence of traders bringing in cultures and beliefs from other places. Here are samples of mock-ups of barges and ships that came during those times. And we can see many historical items like the boats of old times, keris, which is the traditional weapon and dagger, and mock-ups of old boats. In the center of Gallery B, we can see a replica of the golden throne of the Sultan. The gold yellow color is the royal color, only to be used by the Sultan. Early Arab traders brought Islam to this land. Here we can see artifacts and exhibits. Towards the other center part of the exhibit area, you can see a depiction of the legendary warrior named Hang Tuah. There are many other exhibits, including old weapons and daggers and keris. This is the Gallery B. Now we can take the stairs and head upstairs to the next gallery. As we head up the stairs, we can take photos of the main hall. We then head to Gallery C, which is the Colonial Era, where Malaysia was occupied by the Portuguese, the Dutch and the British. First, in the early 1500s, the Portuguese occupied this land, which was called Malacca. Here are some of the legendary names that came from Portugal. They traveled around the Cape of Good Hope in South Africa to Cochin in West India to this area. You can see exhibit of a replica of the ships that brought them here, and also mock-ups of the sea attack on Malacca. There are old photos of the administration of the Portuguese people. It's an amazing place to learn about the history of this land. And we see a display of modern weapons at that time, and a model of the gate fort of the Portuguese area in Malacca, which is called the Porta de Santiago. We then proceed to visit the next section, which is when Malaysia was taken over by the Dutch. Here we see exhibits of old weapons, replicas of forts and cannons, and also how the land looked like. Soon we were taken over and occupied by the British. We can read more about the history, see photos, and read about things that the British brought to Malaysia. For example, rubber, tin mining, and so on. This is a model tin dredge that used to mine on the rivers. We see models of old bicycles, and we can also read about the Japanese occupation of Malaysia at that time. We then finally head to Gallery D, which is the exhibit for Malaysia in modern times. Here we can read about education, the development of politics in Malaysia, as well as the events that led up to the independence of Malaysia. The independence discussion with the British happened in 1956. And on 31st August 1957, Malaysia became an independent country. Many old photos show the Independence Day, the declaration made by our first Prime Minister. Modern Malaysia today consists of a multiracial and multicultural society. These exhibits can show a lot of the cultures in Malaysia. We are done visiting all the galleries. As we walk down to the exit, we can visit the museum souvenir store. Here we can pick up t-shirts, caps, keychains, cups, and so on. We can go outside and visit the other exhibits outside the museum. There are mock-ups of traditional Malay houses and so on. This is a good place to learn about the history of Malaysia. Do come and visit.